A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
This Thanksgiving, Butterball wants you to really connect. Let's get back to sharing traditions together around the table. Let's talk like we used to. We'll help with the turkey so you can enjoy every moment. Visit Butterball.com for turkey tips.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, the answer. You ask me, I'll tell you anything. Candy, I'll eat anything. It's time to give me a tasty candy bar. Give me a bag of or a bucket of candy. Fill your own bag at a barrel candy store, and I'll take the wrapper. I'll put it in recycling. I'll eat it. I'll have it. Then I'll have a tummy ache. You give me a candy, and then I'll eat it. Yeah. We've decided to kick things up a notch in the lighthearted department, taking a break, giving ourselves a bit of a reprieve from answering questions about how to deal with your racist family, your shitty best friend, your boyfriend who doesn't know how to do the dishes, me who doesn't know how to speak. We're going to talk about candy because one thing that's become clear in this coronavirus is where our cravings lie. And while we've all been taking in carbohydrates, different types of breads, ice creams, desserts, my heart still lies with candy. I love candy. I love some candy more than others. And I've allowed myself the indulgence of just picking up a bag of candy and eating it wherever and wherever. And I will say that I think the urges have ebbed when I know that I have a family size bag of all red and pink Starbursts. I tend to eat less of them. Or am I eating more? It just feels like less because I don't want them as much. We don't know. So we opened it up to you guys. Let's talk about candy because food is one of the rare frontiers where all opinions are valid, but people still get very angry. But the stakes could not be lower when talking about junk food. So here we are. Oh, also Emily's here.
Hi.
She's under the desk. Ask me this candy.
Okay,
Kit
so a
Kat.
lot of these are not necessarily...
Kit Kat. Kit Kat.
Please do that the whole episode. A lot of these are not necessarily questions, but just strong opinions, and we wanted to give you a forum, and we will share what we think about your opinion.
A strong opinion that I can just throw myself against. Kit Kat.
Cameron F. says, all right, hear me out. Kit Kats should always be put in the fridge. I vehemently argued for putting our Kit Kats in our fridges at work, at the movie theater. Thank you. Because guests would get a cold Kit Kat and have more time to eat it in the theater. But when you get a room temp Kit Kat, by the time you get to your seat and the trailers start, you already have chocolate all over your fingers and have no choice but to eat it quickly.
Really? Are you storing it under your left breast?
This is the big size Kit Kat, not the individually packaged mini ones.
There's your problem.
Look, Cookies and Crack Zero agrees with me. You're doing the Lord's work, Cameron. Thank you. Because when I go to the movie theater, I want a chilled candy.
Okay, hold on. Here's the thing. I don't know how fast you're running and where you're storing that candy bar. Is it between your thighs? That is like, it's all melty. I can't handle this. The chocolate in Kit Kats I have found does seem to melt a lot quicker, but very few candy bars are you required to interact with the top coat of chocolate. Like a Snickers, you're eating it out of the wrapper. And Kit Kats, you have to break me off a piece of that. So you do have to actually engage with it. If you think about it, very few candy bars do you have to do that with because most are bars. Kit Kat is made of several bars. So you do have to touch it. If you had to eat a Snickers that way, it would also get on your hands. It's chocolate. Mm-hmm. If it's cold, if it's too cold, you don't really taste the chocolate for the first couple of seconds because it's too cold. So you're saying keep it cold so that it's not melted. And I'm saying it shouldn't matter. Just fucking eat it. You can keep some in the freezer, like a frozen Score bar, Heath bar, Charleston Chew. What?
A Kit Kat, just you always get that little. It's not like it's melting all over, and you're like, "What do I do?" It's a torrent of chocolate.
It's called the imprint layer, and it's how our government keeps tabs on who is eating what Kit Kat. Because your fingerprint, you eat your own fingerprint.
Yes. So if it's chilled,
You eat your own Minority Report.
I like a chilled Kit Kat because the chocolate to me is not the flavor. I don't care about the flavor. I like the texture of a Kit Kat.
You like the crunch. And do you know why you like the crunch?
Why?
The reason human beings like crunch is because it emulates the crunching of bugs. And if something crunches, it means it's fresh. So what it's telling your reptilian ape brain is that what you're eating is fresh. That's why we like crunchy things. It goes back thousands and thousands of years. We're only a couple thousand years old as a species. It says what you're eating is fresh. Something that's fresh crunches, vegetables that are fresh, crunch, bugs, crunch. We ate bugs. Animals never crunch. Bones crunch. But if you cook a bone, it's not fresh. It's a bendy bone. Now, I could nominate a cold Kit Kat. That's fine. Could be enjoyed either way. That's fine. You know what you don't ever see though? You go to a place like Sonic. They're like, we put anything in a fucking blender. We'll give you a candy bar. It's a whole candy bar. We put a whole Easter basket in the shake. Kit Kat is rarely an option. It's usually like Butterfinger, Oreo, sometimes Heath. You don't see Kit Kat as much.
I would love to.
Oh, Kit Kat. And then in Japan, they have green tea Kit Kat.
They have so many flavors, a billion flavors.
Yeah, I eat it, but I'm like, does this make me fancier? Does this make me more continental?
I watch a middle-aged British man on YouTube open and eat Kit Kats sometimes.
I don't care what you do to get off. Like, I don't care. That's not appropriate for work.
I like that Mish Makuka replied to this and said, I thoroughly support your position and would add, in the future, in a post-COVID world, do we want to lick that chocolate off our fingers in a movie theater? I mean, we will, but the trauma will be horrendous.
I'm not going to be blowing up birthday cake candles anymore, that's for sure.
Ooh.
You know what? You should be licking your fingers because you should be washing your hands and sanitizing them between opening that door, touching that extra large popcorn and the butter pump, which won't be a thing. Mm-hmm. What a shitty new world that only our kids will enjoy because it'll be normal to them. And I'll be like, remember going places? Remember having a job?
Remember rubbing things with your hands?
Stop talking about that old man. Stop talking about that weird porn you watch. Kit Kat.
On Brittany says, white chocolate is bullshit. Fake chocolate. And then people agree, except someone says, Super Sugar Bug says, Super Sugar Bug. Unless it is in booze form, Godiva liqueur white chocolate in your coffee on Christmas mornings.
Someone has some family counseling to go to. I'm not a big alcohol chocolate dessert person. I think that's a great way to lose a foot and have a hangover. White chocolate is not chocolate, but it's still delicious. Like, have you ever had a cookies and cream Hershey bar? Game changer. Mm-hmm. It's outstanding.
In the fridge.
Yeah, so who cares if it's chocolate or not chocolate? Fine, white candy substance is taste-o.
You don't like chocolate, though.
I don't hate it. I just don't prefer it over something sweet and sugary. But white chocolate is a decadent treat. It's its own thing, like ganache. It's its own thing. It's not, it's chocolate, but it's not. It's ganache.
You can only have a little bit of a white chocolate. As a kid, I could eat a whole cookies and cream. And I feel like I got one like a few years ago. And after 2 bites, I was like, oh no.
White chocolate is like your really rich aunt that comes to town once a year. And she's such a snob, but you're like, I'm secretly dying as a gay man to like be you, Karen Walker. But yeah, I don't know people that like check super hard for white chocolate. Who is that? That's got to be a Reddit thread.
What?
Am I white chocolate? Just people that, I don't know.
I'm sure people love to fight about things.
It is a dessert heavy thing. It strikes me as a very adult dessert. Like it's in a martini glass, drizzled Godiva chocolate filled with Jameson or something.
Right.
Jim Beam soaked strawberries, everyone vomiting, driving their cars into walls.
If I can't go home for Christmas, maybe I'll just drink some Godiva liqueur white chocolate by myself.
They sent us a British candy bar called like White Lion or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a white chocolate bar. And you eat it. You know what are great? Well, it's not white chocolate. I was going to say yogurt covered raisins. But that's the same thing. I have a theory that the yogurt and yogurt covered raisins is actually white chocolate. Taste-o. And white chocolate covered dried fruit is taste-o. So that should answer all of your...
That answers everything.
Hope you guys are just glued to your listening devices.
This is the episode where I feel like people will be listening and be the most mad that they are not being heard. Like they're just in their cars like, no, that's the best kind of chocolate.
White chocolate and fruit. Like it's a certain kind of person. I happen to love orange chocolate, like orange milk chocolate. I love it, but I don't really want fruit in any other chocolate.
How do you feel about a chocolate covered strawberry?
Great. They are excellent. It turns out I take it back. I love chocolate and fruit. Chocolate and cranberry, you're like, okay, like Brookside makes chocolate blueberries and chocolate cranberries, I think. And those are, you can trick yourself into thinking you're eating something healthy because it's dark chocolate and antioxidants.
Yeah.
It's really bad for you though. Yeah. Everything's bad for you.
It is.
Everything short of running 5 miles and drinking broccoli is bad for you. Even running is bad for you.
It is. It's bad for your knees.
Yeah. The phone on which you're listening to this podcast is bad for you.
Yeah. Chase a Rooney. You want to say Kit Kat?
Kit Kat. Kit Kat
Mini. You know what? A mini you can unwrap and just bite into. You don't have
Like
to
the
break
fun
it
size?
apart. Yeah.
Who's the sociopath unwrapping the teeny tiny toddler candy and you're holding it by its base?
There you go.
Oh, you mean, because there's
No,
two?
you can, in a mini, you just unwrap and bite like a Snickers.
Maybe one of the greatest jingles of all time goes to Kit Kat.
It's really good.
Break me off a piece of that. Don't touch me.
And you think in a food, like, I don't want you to break me off a piece of a food. Like that on itself is not an appealing slogan, but the song's so good. I'm like, yeah, I do want to break off a piece.
Well, what's unholy is if you open the whole thing and just take a bite out of all across. That's
Yeah.
like if someone eats the middle out of a banana. You're like, what are you doing? The idea is much like with king size or shareable size. We all know you're not sharing it.
No.
Nobody's sharing their Kit Kat, but they want you to buy it under the pretense of like, yeah, I'm going to share this. And then you eat the whole thing. You're like, whoops a daisy.
Yeah.
That's the marketing behind a lot of things. Like, oh, double the fun. You're like, yeah, double the fun for me. Double fun for me. Family size, my own family. I live alone. Yeah. More for me.
Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, well, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. You know, like I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat that's one of those, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Eliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Eliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Eliza.
Jay Saruni 5432. Does anyone really like black licorice?
Oh, yes.
I mean, I would rather eat kale than digest that bitter tasting imposter candy. Some people came to black licorice's support. Britt Honey, Jules Nangle, Super Sugarbug, Noreen MCSTU, all were like, I do. It's me.
What a battle. Look, Jason Mraz, whatever.
Jay
5432, not giving us the satisfaction of a 1 and a blast off. Not only... I know that we're in very sensitive times now and you don't want to insult a black person or a person of color. You are attacking the entire Nordic people because Swedes in particular love black licorice. Norwegians love black licorice.
Mm-hmm.
They love a really salty black licorice, salmiak licorice. And I remember when we did on the Iliza Schlesinger sketch show, we did a whole sketch, which nobody cared about but me, in Norwegian. And one of the lines I said, did you take my black licorice? Du spas licorice an min, which is licorice an min is my licorice in Norwegian. These people, Scandinavian people, love salty. And when I tell you salty, it is something that our American taste buds cannot handle. It is like biting into Satan's toenail. So it is horrific. And I think it has to do with their culture and something with like loving the pain, or maybe because it's so cold there. I don't know why. You don't know why certain, like we love our milk chocolate and the UK thinks that we have garbage chocolate. You just grow up eating things. They love it. I can't get on board with that because that is like a death sentence in and of itself. But you give me Good and Plenty. You give me Panda, natural black licorice, in. Not an Annis fan, but I love black licorice. I will eat a box of Good and Plenty in one sitting.
Is that what you've been eating lately?
Munching on it. Chomp, chomp, chomp. It feels like you're eating little pills. Taste there. Love it. Love it. And it's not a young person thing. I had an older parent growing up. My mom's had me when she was like in her 30s and she was born in 1949. So I was going to bring this up, but she's the reason I like Bit of Honey and Good and Plenty and like a Score bar. Like they're kind of like candy from another generation that she would eat. My aunt loves Good and Plenty. I think I just like it because they like it, but people like it. But the Scandinavian black licorice, you're on your own there. Mm-hmm. Swedes, Nords, what's the other one? Finnish. I don't know. I don't think they eat that. Anyway, so the Swedish, you're on your own.
Have you had a fresh Charleston chew?
Yeah. What's your point?
I didn't know that I'd only ever had them in like Halloween candy. I was like, these are gross. And I bought one because they were on sale at like Kmart. And I was like, oh my God.
Kmart.
This was a couple of years ago. There's one near me. I used to meet people there when I was selling DVDs. I would meet them in the Kmart parking lot.
That's a show. I got what you need. You want Blue Crush? Extended cut? DVD?
Yeah, so I would do
fake signature.
Fake signature. There's a copy of Gladiator that has a fake signature, and I thought it was real. And I was like, "What a gem I've found in the used $3 bin at this Amoeba! Oh my gosh!" And I text a friend. I'm like, "I know you love Gladiator. I have something for you."
This is not your podcast.
It was not signed.
Of course not.
Real.
And also, who cares?
Fake.
Okay, but that was a great movie. That was a game changer movie. Charleston Chew. Yes, I grew up eating them as well. That's another old person candy.
Great
vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a vanilla taffy.
Yeah,
freezing a Charleston Chew is a game changer. Buy the Charleston Chew. It's like a foot long.
Mm-hmm.
Freeze it. Then you smack it on the counter and it breaks into pieces. And that's how you eat it.
I don't want to fight my candy.
No, you're just hitting it once and you win. There's chocolate Charleston Chew and strawberry Charleston Chew. Not my thing. Vanilla Charleston Chew. Fun size, I think, tastes a little different. There's like a coating they put on the chocolate. You can kind of taste it. And it comes in box form, which are teeny mini Charleston Chews that look like caterpillars.
Uh-huh.
And that's great too. You can freeze those too. And then you don't have to smash it because they're already tiny.
I feel like I might have gotten the box. Yeah, it's very different. The Halloween candy one is like you see that and you're like, oh, is this going to be bad? It doesn't have any flavor.
No, they're great. I love it. As I said, I love vanilla taffy.
New. No.
New. Go ahead.
Say Kit Kat. You say Kit Kat. Newfoundland. American candy is full of fake flavors and colors.
There it is.
Every time I get some U.S. candy, I get super excited because I forget, but then I get so disappointed because it tastes like monkey feces.
No one asked you to try monkey feces in the first place for a comparison, you weirdo.
Other people agree, although someone says, Hannah Lynn 97 says chocolate from Belgium or Germany is superior to all else.
Okay, look. Hey, easy, Germans. That's how you got in trouble in the first place. Superiority complex, my foot. Yeah. Watch it. Look, I'm not going to die on this hill. It is a thing. European/UK chocolate versus American chocolate. Ours is milkier. It's definitely got more sugar. And you guys have different textures. It's one of those, it's like Nike versus Adidas. Like you're never going to have an answer. I understand why you love yours more. They think ours is like eating garbage. Most of our food is filled with GMOs and sugar and cornstarch, a lot of corn. But we could talk about that because I got a list here. You love your flakes, your arrows, your Yorkies, your curly whirlies. It's all just British chocolate, Cadbury chocolate, whatever. And then you put a lot of Crispies in it, wafers, things like that. They're just really into their chocolate. We have more variety here in the States. If you want something sweet and sugary and sour in the UK, you're kind of SOL. They have stuff, but it's not the same. As I experienced when I was in Montreal, which is pretty European. And on set for candy, they just had these like little things that look like obelisks, like a little circle with a stick. And it's like gummy, but that was it.
Oh.
Yeah. I forgot what they're called.
American versus European candy. It's like getting a chicken tender versus getting a McNugget. Sometimes you want a McNugget. They're a different species.
Yeah, it's not
the same thing.
I don't ever want a McNugget.
Oh, a fresh McNugget.
Oh, it's not even, it's like gray and like curly inside.
So it's not the same as a chicken tender. It's a different thing. And sometimes that's American candy has its place like the McNugget. And some palates, such as mine,
sometimes you
are
want
accustomed.
An authentic street taco and sometimes you want Taco Bell.
Yes.
Two different things. Not even the same meat. So I'm not going to fight you on that. But they do have an obsession with their like crisp, which is like a chocolate candy bars. It's much bigger of a deal over there, and it's much more tied to your youth. Whereas here, very few people like eat a whole Hershey bar. It's kind of weird.
Well, and here you can get a lot of those candies,
specialty shops and stuff like that.
Yeah, this shop in Burbank is closing down. Rocket Fizz. Where am I going to get my arrows and my cookie dough soda?
Rocket Fizz is it's like a nostalgic candy store, and they have candy from all over the world, but from all different generations, and they have barrel candy. I almost went to one the other day. There is a candy bar. It was going to be my top of the cob, but I'll just say it. Cadbury has a line of candies called Dairy Milk, the chocolate. So it's like milk chocolate, I guess. And it's really creamy, excellent chocolate. And they have a bar. I've only seen it in the UK and in Australia, which makes sense. And it's Cadbury Dairy Milk Marvelous Creations. And it's got little jellies in it and kind of like Pop Rocks. You wouldn't think it would be good, but it is outstanding. And the cover of our episode is me leaving Sydney. And I saw them at the newsstand on the way to the gate. And I bought like 20 of them.
And I was suspicious.
Full retail.
You gave me one out of the goodness of your heart, one of your foreign candies. And I was like, I don't know about this. Put it in the fridge.
I bought them just in time too, because then we got quarantined. And I chubbed up.
Do you have any left? Do you have any left for your quarantine, or are you done?
No, I'm over. I'm over feeling pleasure. Taste their times.
Okay.
But don't come swinging at us, all right? We know that your chocolate's your thing, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And we should agree, not even to disagree, agree to be like, okay, whatever.
It's different. It's a different thing.
It's a different upbringing. And that's that.
Just give up. When Skittles replaced lime with green apple, it was an ultimate betrayal. When the long-lost lime bags came out a few years ago, I bought enough that I just ate the last bag at Christmas. Lime Skittles are my soulmate. Are you a Skittles?
I love Skittles. I thought it was lime this whole time. As you said that, I was like, oh, it just tastes green to me. And I bet you side by side, you couldn't tell the difference. And by the way, Skittles, fun fact, are all the same inside. It's just the candy on the outside. So the majority of what you're eating is just a sugary thing. It's
Little
not a
sour.
flavor. Skittles aren't sour. There are sour Skittles, which are very sour. When I was a kid, my friend Aaron and I, my best friend, we would every Friday night, because you're in elementary school, right? You're in the 5th grade. It's not like you're going out. We would go. I had like $5 allowance, and she and I would go to Kroger or Albertsons, and we would, or Skaggs Alpha Beta, if you're from Texas, and we would buy. This is at the time that Skittles was coming out with like their purple bags, and they had a tropical bag. Like there were different flavors of Skittle. We would buy them. This might have been middle school. Now that I think about it, I don't know. I don't know when Aaron went to a different school. Anyways, and we buy them and we put them all out because there's so many different colors, and we would sort them out and play with them. So that's cool. And we go rollerblading and watch TGIF. Oh, for the days. And yeah, big Skittles fan. Bought a bag recently. Huge into Skittles. Classic red always gets the job done.
I don't like Skittles.
Could do without orange Skittles though. Ugh.
I don't like any of them.
Beelzebub bits. Why don't you like Skittles?
I'm just not a fan. I used to
Taste the rainbow.
me and my sister would trade Halloween candy, and I would make her bad trades. I would take advantage, and I'd give her all the candy I hated, and I'd take the good candy.
Yeah.
It was rude.
Kit Kat.
Becca, I have to point out real quick, this got more comments than maybe any of our question asking posts.
People are looking for anything not socially charged. They're like, great.
Yeah, you guys had a lot to say. So Becca H96. Hi, Iliza, Emily, and the adorable Tianfu. I have a very strong opinion on fake grape-flavored candy, lollipops, Jolly Ranchers, etc. Personally, I love anything made with grapes, including grapes themselves. However, I would like to know why on earth grape-flavored candy tastes like the color purple, which
Not
just so
the
happens to
movie.
be similar to drinking dirty puddle water. Since I actually like the color purple, I'm disappointed every time. It's disgusting, and as though whoever made the formula for the artificial grape flavor has never tasted a grape in their life. It's false advertising. I can go on and on about this. I'll cut it short.
It's actually not true. There is a Japanese grape that actually tastes like the fake grape flavor that we base candy off of. And I think that's where the original flavor came from. Yeah. I have to look that up. Smokey Husky one time tried a Kyoho grape. It's a Japanese grape varietal. And when he tried it, he said, oh, that's what our grape flavor tastes like. Like it's based off that grape. Anyway, it's a very American thing to be like, it's a color that you eat. Like this tastes like red. I'm sure that there's a scientist. I've been trying to catch my breath because I went downstairs to look something up.
You ran.
I was trying so hard.
It's
3 levels.
Grapes. I know. I know.
I'm sure there's a scientist that can tell you what red tastes like. And I'm sure it's like hibiscus, a certain type of beetle husk, and strawberry dollops. So we all know as Americans, like what orange tastes like. I think fake grape, I'm not a grape person. I think it's gross. Never going to have grape soda. But like on occasion, like a grape taffy is okay. Like there's certain fake grape things. I would never eat a grape airhead, but I would eat a cherry airhead. Like there's some fake grape or fake cherry that you're like, I can get on board.
What about how do you feel about a can of grape or orange Fanta at the pool?
It's got to be orange Fanta.
Yeah.
A crisp orange Fanta, slice orange soda in a small dose is taste though. Fanta's delicious.
Only ever had it when I was at the like community pool. So I have such like summery memories. I couldn't just drink a Fanta like in my home on my couch. That's not right.
No, it's a summer fun thing. We all remember the sexy girls like, want a Fanta? I'm in a tiny dress of Fanta. When we went to Israel, they had Fanta because it's like an international brand, but it was written in Hebrew. But the Hebrew letters in the font that they used, it looked like it said ABJICA. Like the Hebrew letters looked like it formed. And so we called it Abjika the whole summer. That was brilliant. Pineapple soda, not going to drink that. Other countries I might drink it, but I don't want like a Fanta pineapple.
Did you ever go to the World of Coke in Atlanta?
No, Emily. Most people outside of your state, your home state, don't go to that.
People, I mean, it's like a tourist thing, and
World
they
of
have.
Coke.
So you go through and it's basically one big advertisement. They're
There's
like,
only
here's how it
two
was
Cokes.
founded.
There's
No.
American Coke and there's Mexican Coke.
No.
And that's it.
Then you get to the end and there's a free tasting station and you can drink as much as you want. And they come out of different spouts from all the countries.
Right into your mouth?
All the flavor. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to put a cup.
Right into my vagina?
And I don't know what they're going to do now.
Yeah.
But from all over, there's like ginger and watermelon and grape and
Can I tell you something?
lemon.
First of all, you know what? I'm going to make that my top of the cob.
I just drank a bunch of plain, I think.
Okay, I've got my top of the cob.
Okay.
Yeah. A Coca-Cola I'm not going to say my top of the cup. Noah
Okay.
has one like Christmas Day every year. And he's like, it's amazing. Because like the greatest marketing campaign of all was putting a Coca-Cola in Santa's hand. And then you're like, oh my God, Coca-Cola is a Christmas drink. Think about it. You don't know why you think that otherwise. I love good marketing. Vanilla Coke is a thing of the devil. It's disgusting. One time I got really drunk off vanilla vodka and vanilla Coke. And I think that's why.
Coke is great.
They came out this last Christmas with cinnamon Coke and nobody knew but me. And I bought a tiny 6-pack. It was like drinking a candle. It was horrible. And I really wanted to like it.
Yeah, no, I can't. They now have a bunch that are like diet vanilla orange. No. I do a
That's
plain
cream
or I
soda.
do a vanilla.
Were you the kid, and I know the answer, at the movies, remember, or at 7-Eleven, you could make your own, you put all the sodas in one?
I never was until
Last
Coke,
week.
Coke introduced those freestyle machines when I was in
Yes.
college.
Okay.
Horrible idea at first because the freestyle machine would replace like 4 or 5 spigots and the freestyle machine just has one spigot. So the line would be super long. But where you could get anything, I will mix a vanilla Coke and a root beer.
That's different.
Just because I can. But I don't want, I'm not going to mix in the fruits. I can't, like when I went to the World of Coke, I tried Coke and I tried like their root beer. I didn't drink
What was
watermelon
the root
Coke.
beer? Was it IBC? Who owns-
No, they had just like kind of like a sarsaparilla type like thing from another country.
We all know Barks is the best.
Yeah.
Tasto, and it's got bite. And that's the other thing is Barks probably was a mistake. They were like, you know what? It's a little painful to drink. Okay, that's our thing.
Yeah.
Because every other one is creamy, and I'm not
Yeah.
into that. You could mix Dr. Pepper and Coke, which means you could mix a Mr. Pibb and a Pepsi. Like you could do a cola and whatever Dr. Pepper, Mr. Pibb is, and a root beer. All those 3 brown ones go in the same family. When you start introducing Slice or Sprite into it, it's just, okay, you're high or you're a chubby 5th grader. So that's it.
I love all the knockoff Dr. Peppers that are like Luke the physician. And you're like, what? Like
I don't know
there are
about
just
those.
so many. There are so many bargain brand Dr. Peppers that are like hospital doc. And you're like, what?
Hospital
like,
doc.
they're
Who
just
wants that?
Stupid.
Medicine. Dr. Pepper's Tasto. And I only saw one person do this growing up in Texas. Warm Dr. Pepper with lemon in it. Like put it in the microwave. But I cannot vouch for that.
You know what people do in Georgia is they take a Coke. If you're at a baseball game, you get a bottle of Coke, you open it, and you put peanuts in there.
I don't know if that's a Georgia specific thing, but I
Maybe
do know what
South.
that comes from. It was something like not being able to hold both of your snacks with both hands. So you just put the peanuts in to just have a free hand. I think it's like a worker thing. It also, like Permanente Brothers in Pittsburgh, their thing is that they put these fries on their hamburgers, and it's not a style thing. It was because they had to eat their lunches. The iron workers had to eat their lunches so fast. So
Yeah.
necessity is the mother of invention and tasty things.
I don't do it because I want my Coke to be refreshing and not chunky. But
It could be chunky and refreshing, like peanut butter on a hot day in your shoe.
I've noticed that, at least since I've had my babies, that I smell differently when I sweat. Maybe I'm just like getting older. I don't know, but I smell differently. And I don't love that. If I'm on set or if I'm on stage or if I'm doing anything like functioning in public and I don't want sweat stains or to be aware of my stinky pits, that's when I turn to Lumi Whole Body Deodorant because it keeps me smelling fresh all day. Lumi is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. Pits, under boobs, right ladies, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, your feet. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. How? Well, unlike certain traditional deodorants that may try to mask odor with a fragrance, Lumi is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. If you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off the starter pack. Use code Iliza for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code Iliza at LumiDeodorant.com.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Ugh. Hey, Mrs. Marlin. Butterfingers.
Oh.
They changed their recipe a year or two ago. I was never a chocolate fan and loved the peanut butter and little chocolate flavor. Since they changed it, chocolate flavor is so much stronger than it used to be, and the whole experience is fucked. Super upsetting.
I don't read these questions ahead of time because I believe I work best spontaneously.
I think so.
I could have purchased a Butterfinger because I'm not a peanut butter chocolate fan, but I do love a Butterfinger. I also love a Reese's. I also love a Reese's Pieces. I also love a Kit Kat.
I didn't think about it. A Butterfinger was a go-to candy for me. And I feel like the last 4 or 5, I was like, is this stale? But maybe it just was a new recipe.
That's that's interesting. Maybe it is. I don't know why they changed. And that must be a contract that they have with Big Wheat or Big Chem. I don't know. Speaking of, and I had actually written this down as something to bring up. When Butterfinger BBs came out, we were all like, oh, cool. Bite-sized Butterfinger BBs. Not the same.
No.
Did not taste the same. And awful. However, what I did find satisfying were the teeny tiny Butterfingers you can get in the box at the movie theater, which is just their way of charging you for less candy and bigger packaging. Butterfinger is one that you do have to hold by the wrapper, and you'd always get sort of wet at the end when you couldn't like get to the rest of it because you didn't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Butterfinger taste. That is a satisfying carrot-like chocolate. It looks like it's so bright orange. I'm sorry, it's peanut butter. This is like, why are we agreeing that peanut butter is bright orange?
It's very flaky.
Butterfinger. You know, when they were pitching it, they're like, all right, stick with it. The name is Butterfinger. It's like a whole finger's worth of a weird peanut butter. You know, we're not going to say peanut because I bet there's no peanuts in it. I bet there's no peanuts in a Butterfinger because they even say crispity, crunchity. Oh, peanut buttery Butterfinger. Buttery. When people do E, it means that it doesn't actually have to have, like, oh, it's grapey. That's not great.
Like if something is chocolate flavored.
Yeah, I bet you, like chocolatey. It's like, well, that means we don't have to use it. Like when you buy like shampoo and stuff and it's like makes hair feel and look fuller, but doesn't say makes your hair fuller. Makes skin feel softer and lines appear smoother. Look at the word because they never say actually reduces your lines. So I'm just saying, pay attention to the copy.
I mean, the ingredients are corn syrup, sugar, peanuts, vegetable oil, peanut flour, non-fat milk.
Whatever the hell peanut flour is.
Yeah.
Crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery. Because it's peanut buttery because it's deduced from the idea of peanut butter, but it's not like you're eating a Justin's peanut butter cup.
If you ate one with your eyes closed, you would be like, aha,
You'd be
peanut
like,
butter.
Corn syrupy.
Right. Okay. This person, _LAC_518 says, the ranking of the best form of Reese's, I stand by the pumpkin being number 1. Also, gummy bears are best when frozen. Okay, so Reese's.
No, that's a great way to rip out your fillings.
We got cups. We got Nutrageous. We got the bar that has the wafer. We got pumpkins. We got Christmas trees.
Okay,
we got minis.
You have to file pumpkins, Christmas trees, and anything Easter under the same category because you know it's the same thing. As a Jew, I'm very rarely given any sort of Easter candy. So I abstain from voting in this one.
Okay.
It's the same. Nothing is superior to a Reese's cup. A cold Reese's peanut butter cup.
Fair. I do love on occasion the Nutrageous. I love on occasion the fast bar that's like wafers with peanut butter. Very good.
That I don't know.
There's a new big cup that I haven't had and a big cup that has Reese's Pieces in the big cup. I haven't had either of those.
It's a hat on a hat. Reese's Pieces are tasty. Reese's mini cups, the ones that are wrapped in the gold foil, those are superior. That's something that actually maintains its flavor regardless of the size. Like that formula they use for that salty peanut butter. But I equate it really with Halloween. Like you get 2 in a little, ew, I'm drooling. Ew.
You were just so
In
excited.
an orange. It's a classic. And you know what movie made it famous? Reese's Pieces.
E.T.
Yeah.
Well, because M&M said they couldn't use them and M&M's was kicking themselves because like that more than most marketing pushed Reese's Pieces. Like people bought it because of that.
People bought it. And then years later, M&M came out with peanut butter M&Ms, which are excellent.
They're really good.
They are very satisfying to eat.
What about, how do you feel about the different M&M's flavor? Because there used to be a crispy that was incredible. They took it off the market for years, reintroduced it. It's not the same.
Okay, here's what I'm not a big M&M eater, but I bet you I can name all of them right now. Like
I
off
mean,
the top of my head.
Not all there are brand new ones. But
I know,
let's
but
go with
I
the
feel I
class.
can.
You think? Okay.
I feel I can because I pay attention to new candy developments. It's like a very, very low key interest of mine. There are times where I'll say to Noah, I need to go to the store. I just need to get a piece of candy. And I don't know what I'll come home with. Last time I went, I was like, I'm going to get some Sour Patch Kids. I came home with a bag of Starburst and like a thing of Good and Plenty and a thing of Black Panda licorice. So I never know what I'm going to come home with. And it's tough. Okay. You got your original. You've got your peanut M&Ms. You've got your peanut butter M&Ms. You've got your almond M&Ms. Not to be confused with an almond Snickers, which is a superior candy bar to a regular Snickers, not to be outdone by, I was going to say Snickers Midnight, but it's a Milky Way Midnight. Never mind.
Have you got a Snickers peanut butter?
No, I that's not something I would want. So then you have coffee M&Ms.
Coffee nut.
Coffee nut, which is weird, but coffees are beans. But sometimes people say nuts, like chock full of nuts. Now, this is all off the top of my head. There's coffee ones. There's the crispy ones that come in the blue wrapper.
Well, so crispy used to be in the blue wrapper.
Okay.
Then they went away. Now hazelnut or something is in the blue wrapper, and crispy is back in some other wrapper.
Oh, hazelnut. I was unaware. Isn't there a caramel one too?
Yeah, I feel like there was. I'm not seeing it on this list. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, there is.
There's a pretzel M&M as well. Am I missing one?
Well, there's one that I just bought the other day that I haven't tried yet because I saw it at the stand when I was checking out. And was like, ooh, fudge brownie.
Yes. And they're in purple. And I couldn't bring myself to do it because I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I mean, this site claims there are 54 flavors. They're not all in circulation right now. Like one is crispy s'mores M&Ms. Where are those? I would buy so many of those. I've never seen that. That's not going to be good.
However, I will tell you this. Russell Stover, shout out to the mix box where someone ever gave your own mix box of Russell Stover. You could put your finger in each little chocolate and decide what flavor it was. You have to eat the whole thing. If your own box, get your own box. Russell Stover is like such a vibe from the 90s. They make a s'mores little candy bite, I guess. It's like a little packet. It's a couple inches long and it's graham cracker with marshmallow and chocolate. And you'd think it wouldn't be good because what makes a s'more so good is the hot marshmallow, but it's actually very good.
It's very good.
If you can find a Hallmark card store and go to the checkout where they have candy, there should be a Russell Stover s'mores bar.
Or if you go to Rocket Fizz before it closes. You know, I love a s'mores flavor. You bought me a s'mores maker.
I did. On Amazon. I did.
That you can put in your microwave. Phenomenal.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm so glad. And I remember you also went to, isn't it like a s'mores store in Burbank? Which is definitely not in business anymore.
I'm sure it's not in business. They opened up like within the last year, and I'm sure it's closed. They were like an artisan marshmallow company that decided to open a store where the problem is they give you too many options. They're like, you get 2 toppings. You get any type of cookie. You get any type of marshmallow. And I was like, I've ruined myself. I made a bad choice.
I messed myself. Well, also, that's like anytime you go to like a restaurant, and they're like, you pick your base, you pick your sauce, you pick your tongue. You're like, I don't want to mess it up and have to pay for it.
Yes.
So just give me the combinations.
I learned my lesson. I went back because when we voted for something.
Midterms?
Probably.
We vote twice a year. So.
Okay. And I wore my I voted sticker and got a free s'mores.
No, I think we vote less than twice a year. You got a free s'mores. Okay.
And I made the right choices. By the way, some blood donation places are giving you things in exchange for your blood, like a $5 In-N-Out gift card.
I don't need that.
But good to know.
I'll give it to someone.
So we did not officially rank them, but I think we would agree that if you see a table of every Reese's product on the earth and they're like, what do you want? You're going to grab a regular Reese's.
I would grab a Reese's mini cup wrapped in the gold, which is a regular Reese's.
Okay.
Because, 2 Reese's cups is maybe too much. Anything else derivative of that, I don't know. I'd probably go for the mini one, and I eat like 6 of them.
Some Lunchables come with 1 Reese's cup.
So sad. That's such a dieter's. It's not really ham, but here's your mini date. Here's your slice of heaven for the day.
I love a Lunchable.
You're almost 30, I think. So that's awful. God, I want to kick you under the desk.
I posted a picture of Bagel Bites yesterday and somebody commented like, I can almost hear Eliza screaming.
I looked at it and I was like, you know what? Leave her alone. It's off. She's at her home. And we'll leave her alone.
Shia Tamara.
You have access to great food and I always offer you food. And you're like, no, I'll just lick this dustpan in the corner of a co-op.
Chaya Tamara says chocolate is superior to all other forms of candy. Discuss. You would argue.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You don't get to come in and just drop a bomb like that and be like, peace out, bitches. No, it's a subjective thing.
Okay.
Like, oh, I'm the best comic out there. Probably.
Did you get crap as a kid? Because I feel like when I was a kid, I had a friend who didn't like chocolate, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, you don't like chocolate?"
Michelle, my best friend, doesn't like cheese, and it really bothers people. I don't think I really realized that I preferred one of the. I never verbalized it until recently. I don't hate chocolate. I just never want like a chocolate cake. It's got to be
fair.
I just whatever, and nobody cares. It means more cake for them. What do you care? What happens to my soul after I die?
__salsa __.
This is not a person.
Salsa. Why do people like sour candy? It just fucks your mouth with its pain salt and people love it. What's up with that? #defund sour candy.
Okay, that's very aggressive of you. So malic acid is the stuff that makes it kind of sour. I mean, there's other citric acid and things like that. When I was on Good Mythical Morning, they had me eat a bunch of different malic acid things with malic acid on. You try to keep a straight face.
Oh, it's very funny.
It will strip off the enamel of your teeth if you eat too much of it. I don't go for super sour. Like, I like a hint of sour. Like, I don't like a warhead. I don't like pain, but I love Sour Patch Kids because they're not really sour. However, without that dusting of malic acid, you may as well eat a gummy bear. Sour gummy bears, distant third to Sour Patch Kids. So third that there is no second. Sour worms. So I don't like something that's going to hurt.
What about the straw? Those sour straws are so good. They're like thin and they're covered in sugar.
You drink a soda with it. Taster. The problem is that if you can't do a Slurpee because then the candy gets too cold. Anyway, those are tasty. I would eat a sour straw or a sour belt in place of a Sour Patch Kid, but Sour Patch Kid is always the go-to.
Accessible.
And they got to be fresh, which if you're a longtime fan of the show, you know there is a difference. People will give me Sour Patch Kids all the time, and Sour Patch Kids, and I've lobbied them to put a little plastic window on the front of their bag so you can, and of course they want you to buy it anyway. There's fresh and there's not fresh. The difference is a fresh Sour Patch Kid looks like it was just dusted with sugar. So it's a color and then it's got a white dusting. And when it's not fresh, the candy you see absorbs the malic acid and the sugar, so it's a darker color and the crystals are less pronounced. That's the difference. And you can tell because it's not sour at all. It's just like a weird fruity flavor. Anyways, that's back to news no one asked for. I love a sour watermelon. I love a sour grapefruit. I love a sour fruit salad, which are all bin candy availabilities. Sour peach ring, sour apple rings are okay. Anyways, I know I'm all. I keep like licking my lips. It's so gross.
You're just so amped.
There is a fan gave me these M&Ms, and they're from the Elder Millennial Tour because they're personalized M&Ms. So on one side it has the M, and on the other side it's a picture laser printed of me and Blanche kissing. They say Party Goblin, Elder Millennial, Iliza, and they're very cool. See, there's one of me and Blanche, and sometimes it's the only candy in my house, and it's vacuum sealed. So once you open it, it's open. The amount of times over the years I've been like, I want candy so bad, and I've thought about breaking into those M&Ms, but then I won't have them on display.
At this point, they're probably
fine. Anyways, but it's
right.
one of my favorite things because it's got a little laser picture of me and Blanche on them.
Yeah.
Tasty woman.
Somebody DM'd us and said, there needs to be a dark chocolate version of Milk Duds. Call it Dark Duds.
Ooh.
I'm not
it could be like a
opposed to
Star
that.
Wars promo. Like the Dark Duds.
The Dark Duds.
Milk Duds are great. It's like a weird fake caramel. It will rip your teeth out.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Milk Duds in forever.
I don't like a food that hurts me.
Why do they call that? Because it's milk caramel?
Yeah.
Milk Duds. What a weird name. What a weird name that we're just like, oh yeah, caramel. I don't know if they make Milk Duds anymore.
I don't know.
I don't look it up.
Okay.
But I haven't seen them lately.
But I'm also not looking for, I guess.
You would see them. You don't have to be looking for it to see it.
Movie theaters now, sometimes they have a goober.
I haven't been to a movie theater in so long.
But not a Milk
I never
Dud.
want a goober. Aren't those raisins?
No, I think it's a peanut.
I never want a goober. I never want Raisinets. That's grandpa candy. Although I would eat Raisinets now that I think about it. Just not in a movie theater. I'm trying to think of shitty. You know what they had for a while at movie theaters that was bad?
What?
Something called Sour Jacks, which was brought to you by Sour Patch Kid. And they looked like bowling pins almost. And they did not have the same flavor as Sour Patch Kids. And they were terrible. And the movie theater by my house only had them. And every time you'd get them, like hoping for a hint of memory from Sour Patch Kids. Yeah, why did movie theaters always have the worst candy?
They had strange options. Now they do have, which you don't see everywhere, two things. The cookie dough bites
That's weird.
and Bunch of Crunch.
It's like somebody like got a contract for all the shit candy no one else wanted. They're like, well, just call up AMC. And I don't know why. The idea of eating cold cookie dough is such a disgustingly specific American phenomenon. The idea of engaging in an entire meal's worth of junk food is so American. Look, they got you a lounger and they hook an IV of high C up and then they just put a tube of corn syrup in your mouth and you can watch Fast and Furious 12.
Yeah, my dream.
I know, it's your dream. You're like, oh, my honeymoon? Okay, kick it.
Yertle Turtle 77. I'm not a huge SPK person, but for those of you that are, have you ever splurged on the custom mix bag? I'm curious as to how fresh they are. Also, any weird combos that y'all eat with your candy? I love Milk Duds or candy corn with chili cheese Fritos.
Oh my God. What big, thick, white Midwestern state are you from? Candy corns with chili cheese Fritos? I mean, I'm a Frito purist, being a Texan. An American, I take my corn very seriously. Since you asked, because I was going to save this for my top of the cob, but
My gosh.
and now I am proud to have told, stop looking up Milk Duds. Like, I don't care. I am proud to have spread this gospel with almost all my friends and with followers. If you want to know about combinations, Sour Patch Kids in your popcorn. The popcorn needs to be buttered and salted. Put the Sour Patch Kids in. Trust me. It is, I mean, you have to like Sour Patch Kids. It is outstanding. It's a because you're always, when you eat something salty, you're always like, I need something sweet. And then vice versa. And it's a vicious cycle, a vicious, delicious cycle. Do that. And you get a tasty green Sour Patch Kid in with, I don't know if that's lime or green apple. I think it's lime. In with the salty butteriness of the popcorn. Outstanding. Simply outstanding. But before that, they said something else.
They were asking if you've ever gotten a custom mixed bag of Sour Patch Kids.
I have gone to bin candy and you can see right there if they're fresh or not. They're usually fresh and I can mix my own. Sour Patch Kids sent me a bunch of books and then they sent, I think it was around Christmas. I feel like it was like, there was a color in there. It was somewhere between orange and red. It was like its own thing. I used to just love the red. I love green. It goes in this order. Red, green, yellow. Sorry. Red, green, blue, yellow, orange. I have no love for an orange Sour Patch Kid, but I do love, remember those like Brock's would make those like fake orange slices? They were kind of puffy looking. They're just called orange slices. It's like the same company that makes those orange circus peanuts.
So they're
jellies.
Okay.
But they're puffy. They look like little caterpillars. They're not slices like the kind you get at Passover. Anyways, those are great. They also make them in green. They make them in all colors, but Brock's makes the orange one, and I like those. As a child, I've eaten so much candy.
Dugan Flagan asks, when you went trick-or-treating, which were the candies you were the most and least jazzed about?
Probably the same as every other kid, right? Oh, you know what isn't good? Individually wrapped, fun-sized Twizzlers. It's a different, first of all, don't even talk about Red Vines.
Somebody asked Red Vines versus Twizzlers.
That's like saying America versus 1940s Germany. Like, of course you're going to pick the superior one, which is America, okay? Don't at me. The Red Vines thing is, you know what that is the equivalent of the person that's like, oh, pizza and pineapple don't go together. Disgust. Red Vine, and it makes people mad. It's not a thing. They're gross. It's just eating wax. Twizzlers taste like strawberry, and it's delicioso. Now, what was the point of that?
Favorite candy
an individual. However, there's the pull-apart Twizzlers, which are fine, but aside from them kind of being mildly fun if you've never left the house, individually wrapped, fun, quote-unquote, sized Twizzlers are not the same, fight me on this, formula as the regular Twizzlers. It never tastes the same. So that was always a bummer. I never wanted the individual M&Ms, like where it's like the little brown package and there's like four. I'm not like a huge M&M eater. I didn't grow to appreciate peanut M&Ms till later. Fun size Twix, Tasto. Fun size Charles and Chew, Tasto. Fun size Skittles, Tasto. And they didn't have it when I was a kid, but sometimes you'll get a really big Sour Patch Kid. It's about the size of your thumb in its own little plastic coffin. It's just an encasement.
Oh my God. The excitement of going to a house and getting a full-size candy bar.
In like a nice neighborhood. There's just like a mom with big tits. Like, here's a whole Hershey bar.
And you're like,
have fun, kid. Take one. You're like, okay, totally. Payday, never been into. $100,000, very tasty because of the caramel. Rolo, very tasty because of the caramel.
what are a Mounds and an Almond Joy? I'm not into a coconut.
I do. I love a coconut. I'll eat that. I'll probably eat it last, but I'll eat that. I'm trying to think of the other ones that are.
Look, nobody wants a sweet tart.
I was just about to say I like sweet tarts, but the like fake sweet tart, like candy necklace candy, that was just.
I could do one little twist of Smarties, but more than that, no, thank you. American and Smarties, because British Smarties are chocolate.
Yes, which are good. The hard candy shells tasty,
but American Smarties are little like.
American
dusty
Smarties
pills.
are sweet tarts. British Smarties are actually generic M&Ms. I'm trying to think of any other ones that they gave out that you were just like,
Look,
ugh.
Amped to get a baby Butterfinger. Amped to get a baby Crunch.
Nobody wants a banana Laffy Taffy.
I used to love a Three Musketeers. Now I'm not really into it.
No banana Laffy Taffy.
No Laffy Taffy. None of those little like now or later. There were just little individual like, fruity things that would just be by themselves, and I
rip
didn't
your molars
want
out.
that. Yeah.
Jolly Ranchers are always acceptable. I used to love those. Airheads, always a plus.
How do you
remember
feel?
Fifth Avenue?
I never had
I
one,
haven't
but
either.
I know about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think about getting a different candy bar, but it's just too much.
A whole candy bar.
Did you have a Take 5 ever? Those
It's
were
weird that there's
one
a
of the
Fifth
newer
Avenue
candies
and a Take 5.
I know.
Like, we got to get 5 in there for the kids. Doesn't a Take 5 have like a bunch of...
It has pretzel in it. And that came out within the last like 15 years.
Do you know what my husband will do? And he's not a candy person. He doesn't like anything that involves pleasure. He's like, I'll just eat this cold broccoli in the corner. Every once in a while, we'll go to the store and he'll buy a whatchamacallit and he'll put it in the freezer and he nibbles on it. Like he'll take him like 2 weeks to eat the whole thing because he, again, doesn't like feeling good. But I remember the whatchamacallit jingle. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
From being a kid? Thinking about gobbledygum. What's its face? Whatchamacallit? Whatever it is, whatever it was. Chocolatey chocolate.
Ew.
It was the weirdest, most like 80s, 90s hybrid, strange vibe commercial.
I have been tempted to try a Payday because I just looked at a picture of one recently, and that is a deranged looking candy bar.
Looks
Like,
like
have you
turd.
seen? Yeah, it's like,
A
yeah,
light turd.
it's not a good look.
But that's why you're supposed to keep it in the wrapper.
Right. And nibble it as it comes out.
Snickers had a brilliant marketing campaign because if you remember, and I don't know if their sales were down or if they needed to sell peanuts.
Eat a Snickers.
Hungry, grab a Snickers because Snickers satisfies. And I, as a healthy person, started thinking like, yeah, I guess I could eat that. It's got peanuts. You start to think that's a meal replacement. And if you actually look at a Snickers versus like a generic health bar, similar.
Not different enough. Yeah.
There's a ton of sugar, but it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's not great for you, but neither is that health bar. And I love a Milky Way Midnight.
How do you feel about a Three Musketeers?
I'll eat it because it's a little satisfying.
I think their ingredients changed.
they would have you think it's light because in the commercials it floats.
Yeah.
It's nougat, which is a weird ingredient.
Yeah.
It needs caramel. So it needs to be
Something else.
a Milky Way, which is what that is.
Right. Colby_Lane. Do you still like any of the 90s candy like Baby Bottle Pops, Warheads, Pop Rocks, or that squeezable tube of sugary goo? It all seems disgusting
It
and
is.
far too sugary for me.
You know what it is? It reminds me of just being like after like summer school at like my friend's apartment and like their babysitter was with us and you're just hot eating gunky, shitty stuff, watching TV. Like it's hot, it's in the summer, and you're just covered in cornstarch and corn syrup. Those bottle things are always gross. Pop Rocks is awesome. They
Yeah.
always taste great. It goes and stuff. Everything else that you described is just pure jet fuel.
Do you remember there was one that was like, I think it was like a little foot on a stick and you dipped it into
Yes.
a sour dust?
So, what's it called? Not dippers.
Fun
Dip
dip.
and stick. A
Dip
fun
and
dip.
stick, both.
Fun dip.
I think there's both of those are
So
candy.
it came with, for those of you that are, these 2 vanilla sticks that almost look like 2 pieces of chalk.
Yeah.
There were these 2, and you get 2 of them, and then there were 3 flavors of basically just powdered sugar and malic acid. And there was like grape, green, and red. And I never liked the grape. So you'd always eat one and you'd be done. And you never had enough stick for all the powder.
Yeah.
And the sticks were just pure sugar.
Yeah.
Fun dip. Yeah.
What about a pixie
sticks.
stick?
Love them. You got to dump the whole thing. You got to do a couple to really feel it.
I don't know where people, I feel like I would get them at school, at Halloween. Like I've never just seen in a store a place you could buy a pixie stick.
Yeah, you can buy them. You know how there's a candy section and then there's always like, it's like another company that will give you gummy bears or Sour Patch Kids. Like they almost like they
the off-brand.
It's in its cellophane thing and then the label's like orange and it's like peach hoops, sour children. Sometimes those will have, I don't know why they sell those.
Yeah.
But they'll have like 12 pixie sticks in a bag.
How did you feel about a ring pop?
Love a ring pop.
Push pop?
Well, one's ice cream.
No. There was a push pop that was a just a goo. I mean, just a lollipop.
Oh, it was like
in a cylinder.
It was like a thick plastic thing.
Yeah.
Ring pop, watermelon, tasty. And you wanted to eat it. It was such good fake watermelon.
Yeah.
And then you're stuck with this little plastic nub at the end.
Yeah.
And then you go to a rave and you're like, I need something. To suck on.
Yes.
It's a pacifier.
Yes, we like pina coladas. I hear you talk a lot about Japanese food. Do you have any favorite candy from Japan or any other places you've traveled? So you mentioned your jelly baby Cadbury.
I had never had that except for Noah. When I go to Japanese market, first of all, in Japan, you're just so busy eating the delicious regular food. Of course, everybody likes Pocky. And I think it's very funny that it's a very Japanese thing. There's Pocky, which has strawberry chocolate on it, which is outstanding. But then there's Pocky for men.
Ew, why?
Look it up. It isn't. It's just like sophisticated. It looks like a tuxedo. Pocky for men.
Okay.
Pocky comes like Kit Kats. In Japan, there's like a billion flavors of it. So Pocky's a lot of fun, but you can get that here. The Japanese are very good about, they have a lot of different kind of candies, but they make really tasty, like little cookies. Like if you go to a Japanese market, I don't know what they're called, but they have like a little French man on them, like little teeny cookie pastry things. I suggest, here's what you do. You go to a Japanese market. You won't know what any of it is. Just buy stuff.
You did that for your old podcast.
Yeah, lots of little like crispy crackers and cookies and decadent little tiny things. But I don't know. And then they do flavors that we don't do. Like they'll have mango or they'll have lychee in a lot of things. But keep in mind, their version of sugar is different than the American one. So it'll always taste a little odd. Still taste there.
They're
really big on peaches there. It's like a very special thing to get.
They have these little candy kits that you can buy, and it's like these weird powder things, and you put water and you mix them up and they become like a teeny burger and a teeny, like it's this little, and it's more of an activity than it is a food, but you get a food at the end.
Men's Pocky. It's for men.
Pocky for men. But that's embarrassing. If I see a man eating a men's Pocky.
It's just to attract male customers, and I think that's just because of the dark colors. But you can absolutely eat it as a woman. It's not going to like give you hairy nipples or something. Okay, just for men. Now for men. Men, were you tired of not being able to eat biscuits covered in chocolate? Well,
all right. Christiana _Layla asked a question. It sounds like she's cursed. She says, "Why do I find so many peanut M&Ms without peanuts? I can remember it happening." My whole childhood. Now every time I get a bag, there's like 4. Is there a decline in quality control at the Mars factory? Have I just grown into a person who notices the flaws and everything? Am I asking too much out of life for a peanut M&M to have a peanut in it?
Oh, I thought she was going to keep asking a question.
No.
I've never had that happen. And if you really want to rectify you what?
I've had it happen.
Call the number on the back of the package. Call Mars Corporation. Send them an email. Guarantee they will send you free M&Ms.
Take a picture of it. Take a bite out of it. Take a picture.
It is a company as old as time. Like I'm pretty sure Christopher Columbus brought with him like religion, oppression, and Mars. So bring it. Call them. They'll send you some M&Ms if it's.
One of the few times a year.
Wait, hold on. Here's probably why though. Massive factory spitting out millions of M&Ms a second.
Yeah.
Mechanical error.
Yeah.
It's bound to miss coating on a peanut.
Yeah. I have reached out to a company before. One of the few times a year that I was very drunk, I was eating a Twinkie and I wanted to ask them a question.
Who is them?
Hostess. And I went to their website and their website had several typos. And so I sent them an email where I was like, hello. I don't remember what I needed to ask them about Twinkies, but I asked a question and then I was like, by the way,
is a very strong word.
I was like, by the way, there are some errors on your website here and here and here. And they never replied to me.
They're like, we're Hostess. We cater to the lowest common denominator. These people can't read.
I thought I would get a free Twinkie for fixing their website.
You need a free Twinkie?
No, but I just was like, I just wanted to get involved.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying. That's the way to do it. Send an email.
Okay. Barry Jackie. Commercials. Why in the name of God are we still advertising Twix, Snickers, M&Ms? We all know what they are and what they taste like. As for new flavors, they need to stop. Full stop.
Hold on. The reason they advertise is to keep the brand on your mind. And Twix with their whole like left Twix versus right Twix, it doesn't matter if it's dumb because it makes you think about it. And then when you're in the store, that's at the forefront of your mind. So the advertising is there so that with this myriad of options, you think of their brand first. I mean, I don't have to tell you how advertising works, but it does. Then you're like, you know what? Maybe the caramel will be okay. Ooh, I could go for a cookie crunch. I could. Snickers, they rebranded, hungry, grab a Snickers. You're like, maybe I will. Also, sometimes you don't have a plethora of candy to pick from. There's only 4 and they want you to pick theirs over that. Fifth Avenue's not doing their research because no one even knows what that is. Score, lagging. Some candy bars, you're like, how are they still selling them? I never see an ad for them. People are they got their go-tos. Loyal for life.
K.TT.
There's a silver candy.
Big
hunk.
Big
hunk. And I've never had an O. Henry. It's like a turd. It's like an ostrich turd.
Big hunk. Chunky is silver.
Chunky is what I was thinking of. A big hunk, I think, is just nougat with peanuts in it. Which is pretty gross. Hunk. Is that what you said?
Chunky.
What's
in a big hunk?
Made by Nestle. Yeah, chunky. I don't know what a chunky is.
No, but you can buy some.
Oh, God.
Staples.
It's a trapezoid shape, raisins, roasted peanuts. It's just not something I want to get into.
No, and this big hunk looks disgusting.
And then there's regional candy bars, like, depending where you grew up, they only have them around there, or it's like just in your state. Oh, remember Sugar Babies? Those are tasty, but feel racist. They do. Junior Mints, Taste-O Times. Junior Mints are tasty.
No.
There's something called a Sky Bar, which you would think, I think it's from the 60s, but you would think would be a bigger deal because it's little chocolate fingers and in each one is caramel or peanut butter or it's like a variety. Maybe already had its day. Ask your parents what candies they used to eat, like a Zagnut, which was famously in, or was that an Abba Zaba in Beetlejuice? He holds it up for the fly.
Oh.
Anyway, what's in an O. Henry? There's someone screaming at their radio right now, like,
I'm eating one.
I am an O. Henry. Clark Bar, that's one you don't see anymore. O. Henry contains peanuts, caramel, fudge coated in chocolate. They're all the same thing, reconstituted.
Yeah, a lot of them are very similar.
Like a Clark Bar is crispy peanut butter and a spun taffy core. Well, that sounds outstanding. With caramel? We got to order a Clark Bar. Baby Ruth. That's the one that looks like a turd. Don't want a Baby Ruth. 100 grand is tasty. It's got a lot of caramel in it. Mr. Good Bar, I always thought was inferior, but I would eat it after I would go to camp, and then we had an after camp program, and I would get Mr. Good Bar and drink it with a cherry Coke.
I would never eat a full one, but they can't, when you get the little Hershey's and you get a Hershey's and a Crackle and a Mr. Good Bar. Yes.
Nestle would do this variety pack. Crackle is fine. And these are the candies that you eat last. You're like, fine, I'll eat the Mr. Good Bar fun size because it's here. I'm not, the peanut thing as an American, you're just like, okay, more peanuts. Yay. Especially if it's not spit toasted.
K.TT wants to know weirdest candy that you've ever eaten. Have you eaten a strange candy? Strange candy.
I gotta say, the Scandinavian black licorice is a real trip down a lane you did not buy a ticket for. It is very difficult, and there's different strengths. So maybe that's probably the strangest one because they're wanting me to say chocolate covered crickets or something. Strange is kind of it's strange in that it feels very off. I'm down with okay.
Bird 82 asked this question, very polarizing. What is your stance on candy corn? It's certainly not my favorite, but I don't understand the burning hatred people have for it.
It's one of those things that in a limited quantity is good because that recipe they do, Brock's does Easter things made of candy corn recipe. They do other shapes. It's kind of like a thick marshmallowy kind of thing. Have you ever seen the way that candy corn is supposed to look? You ready for me to blow your mind?
I've seen it on the corn cob. It's just very funny.
It's supposed to look like it's from a corn cob.
Right.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah, Google candy corn cob, folks.
I love those pictures.
It's pretty cool. It's very satisfying. I don't hate it, but you can only really eat a couple pieces of candy corn before, because they also make the candy corn pumpkins at Halloween. Mm-hmm. It's the same recipe. It's just in the shape of a pumpkin. Most candy's the same. As we've seen, most chocolate bars are just caramel and chocolate repurposed over and over.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth hating.
No, but it's like something that people like to dunk on, like candy corn.
Dunk on. Oh, shit. Game over.
All right. Carol Owen. Mint and chocolate, the love story of our time or an unholy abomination?
Love story of our time.
Yeah.
Because just when you think you've been refreshed, the chocolate's there to coat your teeth. So it keeps you eating more and more, searching for that satisfaction.
What about mint and chocolate versus peanut butter and chocolate? Which are you going to choose?
It depends on the vessel. Junior mint, tasto. Mm-hmm. You know, a natural peanut butter cup, maybe not. Chocolate peanut butter cake, no. Mint chocolate chip ice cream, tasto.
Okay.
So I don't know.
All right.
Why do I have to pick? I'm American. Give me all of it in one to-go bag. In one extra large circus-sized to-go bag.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you one final question. See Me I'm BB says...
Excellent pronunciation. They'll totally know who you're talking about.
If Kick It was a type of candy, would it be a sour candy like Sour Patch Kids? Would it be a cinnamon type candy?
That's such a rant. Would it be a cinnamon? Would it be a
Maybe
bird?
Because that has like a kick.
Would it be poison? Well, I mean, obviously there's the Kit Kat thing that we've been saying. A Kick It sounds like a candy bar, but I think that's because Kit Kat sounds like a candy bar.
I think that might be it.
A Kick It for me would be a round disc. It's definitely like a 60s candy. It's a Kick It.
A big disc?
It's, about the size of, like if you cut a baseball
like a
in
York.
half. Yeah, okay, fine. It's that. And how am I seeing it? And it's got raisins in it.
Ew.
Raisins and caramel. I don't want a Kick It.
Are you serious? No. Why are you making the Kick It a bad thing?
Because it's an older candy bar. That's just what I see.
At Sweet, that
with cinnamon on it.
Candy store at Hollywood and Highland, you can make your own candy bar. It's like $8 and it's not that big.
What is it?
Sweet on Hollywood and Highland. It's like in that complex. You can make your own candy bar. You get a piece of paper and it has all the things you fill out.
That's gross. It's never going to be good. Although there is a company on Shark Tank forever ago, and it was customized candy bars. And I went on and I decided to do one for a guy I was dating at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how I discovered he was a sociopath, because I couldn't get the address and he was lying about everything. But I do like the idea of a bespoke gourmet chocolate company where you can be like, I want rose petals and gold. Send it to my mother.
It's nice. All right. Are you ready for Top of the Cob?
Kit Kat.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the cob.
This show brought to you by Kick It, a gross candy from your childhood that your parents sort of remember. Gross candy from your parents' childhood that you sort of remember. There we go. My bottom of the cob, well, I was going to say the UK obsession with their chocolates and not providing enough sour, fruity candies. When I go to the UK, it's always like piles and piles of chocolate bars. And there's not a lot of sour, fun options for me, or fruity options. I'd also like to sort of call BS on the Swedish bin candy stores. They're really into that. Like, because it's so dark there, like it's like supposed to be this like bright sunny place. You go and you get your bin sugary fruity candy. And if you read the descriptions, it's like pick from the freshest of green apples, but it's all just corn syrup and it's all just candy. And it's never as delicious as the American candy that I love. And that just might be because I grew up here. So basically it's me calling BS on other people and wanting my candy to be there. But it's less of a bottom of the cob and more just wishing there were Sour Patch Kids everywhere in different flavors.
Yeah. My bottom of the cob, when you open a candy bar and it's been a tough day and you had to drive home from the store and it's hot outside and it's the summer and you open your candy bar and it's just all stuck to the package and you put it in the fridge because you're like, this is going to fix it. And then you pull it out and everything's still stuck to the package and you try to scrape out with your teeth, but it's not the same.
The struggle is real. Are you the girl that wrote in about the movie theater Kit Kat at the tap? My top of the cob was going to be SPK and popcorn, but I already told you about that. It's not candy, but it is something we talked about. Fresh squeezed lemon in your Diet Coke or your Coca-Cola. It's decadent. I suggest doing it with Chinese food because it cuts through all the sugar and the heat and the oil of the Chinese food or Thai food. But it is a game changer. Specifically in Diet Coke, which is disgusting, but I'll have one once in a while and not feel too bad about it. Put lemon. And they try to like, look, it's Coke with lemon. It is not the same. Do it fresh lemon. Squeeze it in there. Game changer. Lemon in your Coke. It's almost too good. But lemon in your Diet Coke's a little bit easier to handle. They're both outstanding. That's my hack for you. Lemon in your Coke.
My top of the comp is whenever a candy bar that I like comes out with a dark chocolate flavor, I am pumped. A dark chocolate Kit Kat? Yeah. Dark chocolate Milky Way? Yeah. Dark chocolate Twix? Yeah. I'm interested.
The nougat in dark chocolate Milky Way is different than regular nougat in a regular Milky Way. It's like white.
Oh,
and I think it's, I could be wrong actually. I didn't know you were a dark chocolate fan. It seems too sophisticated for you. And I say that
love
with love.
a dark chocolate. Part of other things. I don't just love a hunk of dark chocolate, but I would prefer my chocolate to be dark in other things. I made s'mores with some dark chocolate.
Oh, that's unsatisfying. Do they have dark chocolate ice cream? They must.
I don't know if they classify ice cream like that. Because I don't think it's milk chocolate ice cream. It's just chocolate. So I don't know what the difference is in a bar.
Yeah, I don't know. Folks, that's our little break from the heaviness of the world. It's our candy episode. Maybe we'll do another one. I have impressed myself with how I'm able to wax poetic endlessly about candy. And you're welcome. So I'll take you out with this jingle. When you've had a hard day, coming home on the train, kick it.
This Thanksgiving, Butterball wants you to really connect. Let's get back to sharing traditions together around the table. Let's talk like we used to. We'll help with the turkey so you can enjoy every moment. Visit Butterball.com for turkey tips.